So our knowledge area for project risk management is about, we need to understand about risk. We said risk is an uncertain event. It could be positive, it could be negative. We need to increase the likelihood of positive risk and decrease the likelihood of negative risk. We need to take the risk for growth and returns. Whenever we will take the risk, we need to understand our stakeholder appetite, what they are capable of. If they are averse, limited to none. They are neutral, which is limited to opportunities or seekers. They could take risk positive or negative. So once we have understood our stakeholder appetite, based upon that, we will start identifying the risk. So the first process is plan risk management, and the output will be risk management plan. And to create it, for sure, we will do meetings, we will do data analysis from the past projects or available information, or we can use expert judgment. So once I will have my risk management plan, which contains what could be the risk for the project, based on that, I will start identifying the risk. So process risk is identify risk. And to identify risk, I gave you an example that when you are reading an agreement, the contract, and you found out there is a clause there that if you will not complete on time, you might get deductions. So this could be a risk. Procurement documentation, when you look at it, which means you may find out, oh, there could be a dimension risk or there could be a custom risk. Custom means the border custom risk. So you can use these inputs to make sure that you can identify internal and external both risk. And for that, again, you will use the expert judgment. You can gather the data by brainstorming, focus group facilitations, or Delphi techniques when experts are not physically available. So you will gain the consensus by sending emails to each and everyone until all of them agree at one point. And to keep the people aligned, for sure, you have to use your interpersonal and team skills so everyone can participate and can provide their opinions. And to serve you best, all the companies maintain and in the inside the OPA, their prompt list. What is the prompt list? It's a list of commonly occurred risks. So if you don't know, at least you can have the overview of those risks. So once you will have the help of those tools and techniques and inputs, you will be able to produce risk register, which contains the name of the risk in the form of risk breakdown structure also. You will also issue the risk report. Risk report is the output of identify risk process, where you will issue that how the risk report will be submitted to the stakeholders, what it should contain inside the structure and format. Then you will perform qualitative risk analysis. And to perform qualitative risk analysis, you need to have the risk categorization. So you can qualify them as low, medium, and high. And for that, you will use data representation skills in order to understand in terms of probability and impact metrics. And you will be able to produce something with classification, and you will update the project documents and risk register that this is low, this is medium, and this is high. If required, you may perform quantitative risk analysis where you will use simulations, where you will use your Monte Carlo's technique, and these all are used for representation of uncertainty, which you can apply statistical tools like decision tree diagram or sensitivity analysis or Monte Carlo analysis or SWOT analysis. By those things, you can find out the quantitative risk analysis and you will update the project documents. Once all the risks are classified and quantified, the remaining risks which cannot be classified or quantified, we can put them in the watch list and keep observing that watch list for those minor risks. Then we will plan their risk responses, that if this type of risk happens, so what will be our strategies for the negative risk and positive risk. For negative risk, we can avoid it, mitigate it, or transfer it. For positive risk, we can exploit it, enhance it, or share it. And in both cases, if you cannot do anything, so we can accept it or escalate it. And we can define our contingent response strategies. What will be the situation where you will apply, and how we will deal with the overall project risk strategy, in which cases who will be the who will be the who, and who will be the nth who, and if no one is here, so in that purpose. And I will not make the decisions by myself. I can use voting in order to have the consensus build up, because whenever you are planning, you need to have the consensus from your team so you can earn team support also. All the planning is done, you will go in the execution with this document. and risk register, so you can have the whole information. When the time will come, you have to implement a risk response, and once you will implement the risk response, you have to update the documents, and if required, the risk tendency changed, so you have to produce a change request, or you may find out a new request. So you need a change request to update the risk register. And while monitoring, you need to keep an eye on work performance information. Based on those, if required, you can produce change requests. If requires, you can do the workarounds, and to monitor anything, you can perform most audit that people are doing the things as they appear to be or not. If not, you produce the change request to align back the project targets. That's it for the project risk management.